What's good, ladies and gents? Welcome to the MKO Pugilism Boxing channel, where we talk all things boxing. Remember to like, subscribe, hit the bell notification, put it on all so you get notified of all the latest content. So, without further ado, let's get into it. Recently, as of I believe it was this week, I heard the news that Terrence Crawford has now officially been stripped of his IBF title, the title that he won just a few months back off of Errol Spence Jr. So now they've taken away one of his belts and taken away although we all know he's the undisputed welterweight world champion, because of the rematch clause that was in place going into his Errol Spence Jr. fight. He's now been stripped because, according to the IBF rules, he was supposed to defend the belt next against Jarron Ennis, and because he hasn't done any negotiations for that, they've just given the belt to Jarron Ennis, and there's a lot of people in an uproar about this. I mean, in a way, I'm one of them too, because a lot of these governing bodies do just sort of do their own thing. They sort of pick and choose who they want to be strict with. I mean, you've got the WBC with Charlo for 2 years. I mean, even the IBF. I mean, they've been very strict with quite a few boxers, but when it came to, ironically, Errol Spence Jr., I think he only had what two. He only had about two mandatory defenses. I mean, so he wasn't under the same sort of strict criteria when he held their belt, but now Terrence Crawford has just won it. Month or couple of months ago now. Now they're deciding to be really strict with him, and that's the thing with boxing nowadays that is very frustrating with these governing bodies. It's like everyone's got different rules and they all sort of pick and choose who they want to be strict with. And if it's a certain fighter, they're going to relax their rules. And if it's another guy, then they're going to sort of throw the mandatories in there straight away. I mean, for me, I sort of understand, okay, they've got their rules, but when you think of it, is this guy really the champion, Ennis, having not actually beaten anybody to win the belt? I mean, I I'm one of those that believes you've got to, in order to win the belt, to be the champion, you got to beat the champion. So, while I understand they have their processes and they have their ways of doing things, I I can't really call this guy a proper champion, to be honest, because he hasn't, he didn't even have to have an actual fight to win the belt. The way that they done it was they just gave it to him. They just elevated it, and gave him that. Um, Admittedly, I suppose we haven't got any concrete dates for the Spence versus Crawford or Crawford versus Spence rematch. I don't think they've even decided on a weight or anything, so we don't know when that is or if that's actually going to happen. Because I think Crawford was quite happy to wanting to keep it at welterweight at 147, and Spence's people were like calling out for a 154. For me personally, I think if you're Terrence Crawford, especially now you lost your belt, I'd do it at welterweight. And if Spence doesn't like it, he can lump it. At the end of the day, you don't have to do things to accommodate your opponent. If Crawford can still make 147 comfortable, then I'd say just do it at 147. That's where you won the belt, and that's where you won the fight. So if this guy wants it back, if Spence wants it back, let's have it at 147. As far as that's pretty much my thoughts on it. I do think it's unfair given the very short period of time that Terrence Crawford has actually had the belt for. Is it you're talking weeks, a couple months ago. He literally just won this belt, just won the three belts. and now you're already stripping him. I think that's kind of crazy, really and truly. The guy hasn't had 6 months or even 3 months, I don't think, with the belt. Very short period of time. So to just impose this on him and just strip him immediately, for me, very unfair. I understand they've got their rules, but also they've got to remember this is undisputed, and you know what? At the end of the day, why not give him a chance? Let him have his rematch with Spence, and then let him take on Jarron Boots Ennis. But again, yeah, seems like that's not going to happen. But let me know your thoughts on this. Terrence Crawford being stripped of the IBF title and Jarron Boots Ennis being elevated to IBF champion without having actually fought anyone for the title. For me personally, I find that to be unfair because he's not even had to have a fight for this, and you've not given the new champion even a 6 month period. He's literally had the belt a couple of months at the most, and then you've already stripped him. For me, that's unfair. But let me know what you think about this in the comment section below. And until next time, it's MKO Pugilism over and out.